Welcome to another episode of Power Move Makers. This series was created with a simple goal in mind: to bring to the table high-level executives, successful entrepreneurs, and just all-around inspiring human beings. Not just focusing on their successes, but more important, focusing on the journey that they traveled to get there. Now, this week's guest, he's part of my how-to series. This series is where I dig deep into how people built their businesses from the ground up, and I go really in depth with my questions. So if you're looking to get into this particular business, which is the vending machine business, this is an interview that you really need to sit and pay close attention to. This week's guest is an entrepreneur like myself. He started at a very young age. I've been following him for some time now, and I've been very, very impressed with him from afar. So I knew I wanted to get him on the show at some point. Please welcome to this week's show, Mr. Jaime Ibanez. Did I get that right?
That's right. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. You know, I'm pretty excited. Shout out to other people watching, and yeah.
Okay, Jaime, let's jump right into it. I got a lot I want to ask you, and there's a lot of information that I'm hoping you can provide my audience.
Yeah, of course.
What impressed me about you from the very beginning when I first discovered you was that you're so damn young. And, you know, people think that they have to have a certain level of age and experience under their belts before they can go out there and try to be an entrepreneur. First and foremost, how old are you?
I just turned 20 a couple months ago.
Congratulations.
Just turned 20. Yeah, thank you.
20 years.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I started all this the summer I graduated high school.
How old were you when you graduated high school?
I had just turned 18.
Okay. So you've been in the business, the vending machine business now for 2 years.
Yeah, in August 1st, a couple weeks ago, I had 2 years.
Okay, beautiful. Take me back. Did you ever have any jobs that set you up for this career? Like, where does this even come from?
It's not as random as you think. So actually, throughout all of high school, I worked at a concession stand, and my job was to drive like an actual golf cart around like soccer fields. And I would just have like a huge cooler in the back full of drinks. In the front, I would have like a whole bunch of snacks and chips, and I would just drive around, like, you know, selling chips and drinks to everyone. I think that's kind of where the whole like still selling snacks and drinks idea came from. But yeah, so one time I was just working, and I have a lot of free time, and I was just going through YouTube, and I saw a video of somebody that was in vending as well. And, you know, he made it look pretty easy. He literally just showed himself going to fill up vending machines. He collected the money, and I was like, you know what, if he can do it, I'm pretty sure I can. So literally like 2 days after I saw that video, I went out, and at that time I had like saved up all my money, because, you know, there wasn't really a lot of stuff I could buy or wanted to buy myself. So at that time I had around like $4,000 or $5,000 saved. And yeah, 2 days after I saw that video, I went out, I bought the first machine, and I just jumped straight into it, like just like that.
Okay.
That's kind of how it started.
So there's a lot that I want to unpack right there.
Yeah.
How old were you when you bought your first machine?
I was 18.
You were 18.
Yeah.
Most 18-year-olds don't have $4,000 or $5,000 saved. Was this money that you earned from your concession job, or is it money that was inherited to you? Did your parents lend it to you? Where'd you get $4,000 or $5,000 from?
It was actually, well, half of it was from the job. I saved most of my money.
Okay.
You know, I lived with my parents. I didn't have no expenses to pay for, just my phone bill. So I saved up all my money, and then the other about half was I used to also sell chips in high school. I forgot to mention that. So I sold chips, you know, just walking around through class with a bag full of chips, sold it to kids. I had like 2 or 3 of my friends doing the same thing for me. So I gave them like one bag in the morning. At the end of the day, they would give me the money. And at the end of the week, I would pay them, you know, $50. So I kind of just saved all my money because I knew I wanted to start a business after I graduated high school, but I never knew what. So that's why I saved my money, because I knew it was going to be used for something.
Okay, so you always knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that story. You were a little hustler in high school.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you see this video. You say, you know, I kind of get this whole vending thing because I'm somewhat doing it now in my concessions job. If he could do it, I can do it. Number one, what market are you in?
Market?
Yeah, where do you live?
Oh, I'm here in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, Dallas, Texas. Vending machines are not at your local Walmart. Vending machines are not at Target.
No.
Where did you even find your first vending machine? How much was it? And was it new or was it used?
So my first ever one, it was used. It was on location already, actually. So it was already set up inside of a business. I didn't have to like look for one to place it. And that one I spent $2,500.
Stop there.
Which was
stop there. Very important. It was already on location.
Yeah.
How did you know it was for sale? And how did you even negotiate getting it?
Well, I had actually gone through Craigslist and I just typed in vending machine because I was gonna just buy one and then put it on location. And I ran into a post, and I guess there was a previous vendor that was getting out of the business, and he just had set up the post as he was selling the machine with the location already set up, which you can do even until now. People just sell locations just like that. So yeah, I had saw the post, and it was the only one that I had seen. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, like what all do I need to get the transfer process started? And it's just pretty simple. It's just how, like, if you buy a car, all you gotta do is just sign the bill of sale, introduce me to like the manager there, just so they know that I'm gonna be the new guy basically, and that was it.
Okay.
Simple as that. This
was your first vending machine that you bought.
Yeah.
Did your parents help you with this transaction, or did you do it on your own?
It was all on my own. It was an hour away. I drove over there myself and just everything. My parents aren't really know much about business or how stuff really works, so I did have to learn everything. And
so the first negotiation from start to finish was all you.
Yeah.
Looking back, you get the machine for $2,500, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the average price of a used machine? And is that the price of a machine that already comes with its own location? So if somebody's watching this, give me an idea of what would I spend on a used machine, and then I have to go out and figure out a location, versus a used machine that is already making money, already has its own location.
Okay. Yeah, so it has a lot of factors. For example, if you just buy like a used normal machine without a location, it can be anywhere from like $500 to like $1,000, not really as much as you expect. If you buy like a brand new machine, like top of the line right now, still without a location, those run for about like $5,000-$6,000 per machine. But if you want one that has location, it really depends on how much money they make per month. That's what you really go for. So for example, let's say a location makes $400 a month. Of course, it also depends on the machines, if you have like older or newer machines. But normally what we go for whenever we buy locations is buying it for how much they make for 10 months, 10 to 12 months. So yeah, so if the location makes $400 a month, about $4,000.
Okay, got you. So
now, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's basically like the basic. Like it also depends if the machines are like new, if they're like old. If they're like really old, then you can be paying like half of that, or like a lot less, because you would just be paying for the location itself.
So the machine that you bought, was it a good location? Was it older? Was it newer? Is that $2,500, looking back now, was that a fair price that you got for that machine?
It actually was just because that machine alone, brand new, it was like 4,000, and I paid 25 with the product already in the machine, already on location. I will say this though, 2 days after I got that location, I actually got kicked out from there. So that's how the first one.
Why is that?
I don't know. I bought the location from the guy, and then for some reason he just texted me like 2 days later. It was like, hey, the manager. Apparently, like they switch managers like all the time, and I guess I got like a new manager, and I guess he just didn't want the machine no more. So he was like, hey, he said you have a week to go take the machine out. I was like, okay, and
Okay, question. Before we move the interview on, is there any special certificates or licenses or education needed to start this type of business?
not really much. It depends per state and sometimes per county. But for example, here in Dallas, where I am, all you need is the business license, like a LLC or something like that, and the tax ID, and just those two things.
That's it. Okay. Is there
Yeah.
any special skill set outside of, your licenses or your certificates? Do I need to be a certain type of person? Do I need to be somebody who's good with math? Maybe I need to be somebody who's extremely organized. Are there any special skill set requirements needed for this type of business?
I would say nothing too crazy, but I mean, you do have to be organized, not just in this business, but in every business. But yeah, definitely organized, especially figuring or trying to figure out what drinks and snacks you have to get ready to go and fill up machines. Another one that a lot of people are afraid of is like fixing machines. Like, do I have to be technical to learn how to fix them? And it's actually not as hard as you think also. There's not too many issues that come with the machines.
I want to get to that a little bit later in the interview. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, beautiful. So you're saying in terms of skill set, there's not much really needed. As long as you're a hustler, as long as you're on top of your business, anybody can really get into this business and excel.
Yeah. I would just say do your research, because if you buy good machines, then you won't have as much problems as, not good machines.
Got you. You're kicked out of your first location, which brings me to an important part of this interview. How do you find locations for your machines? Walk me through the process. I have a machine. I know I want to be in this business, but now what do I do? So how do you find these locations?
So there's a lot of ways you can find locations. I know the most popular one that people use is they just go door to door, asking, talking to owners, managers. That's my least favorite way, honestly. I feel like there's more efficient ways, but that still works even to this day. You can go down to a warehouse or hotel, see if they got machines. But it's pretty simple asking them. You just show up and you're like, hey, do you guys have vending machines? If they say no, you can show them pictures. I know some people have like little books of their whole service written out. Of course you can be like professional, show up with like a uniform shirt, maybe like a name tag. But yeah, you just simply ask, like, hey, do you guys want vending machines? And it's just that simple.
Okay, you said that is not the most efficient way. What is the most efficient way that you found?
I've found to be more efficient is by emailing, which surprisingly not a lot of people do.
Really?
But it's just so easy going in, because there's just you're on Google, you can search up so many businesses way much faster. You get their contact emails, throw it on Google, and just copy and paste the same email that you're gonna send everyone, because pretty much it's gonna be the same thing, offering the service. And that way you can just email a whole bunch of more businesses than going door to door.
Okay.
That's what I've done.
Say I'm a business owner and you are going door to door. What does that conversation look like?
So I would walk in, I'd be like, I asked for the manager or the owner, and then I'd be like, hey, nice to meet you. My name's Jaime. I always say I work for a local vending machine company. I don't say that I'm the owner because
Why is that?
because I feel like sometimes people might think I'm too young and they might not really want me to service them and, have or be working with them. Because I just feel like they might think I might not do the job right. So yeah, I would just walk in and I'd be like, hey, my name's Jaime. I work for a local vending machine company. I was just going to stop by and see if you guys have vending machines. And if they say that, they don't, then I can just pull up like a picture on my phone. I should basically tell them like how it works. And I don't offer them commission unless they ask me for
I
commission.
love that. Let's clarify that, because that's where I was about to go in this conversation.
Mm.
Initially, you walk in, you introduce yourself. You want to speak to a manager or owner, correct?
Yeah.
Do you speak to anybody in between there? If let's just say it's I don't know, a front desk assistant. Are you
Mm-hmm.
always asking for the person who's the decision maker?
Yeah, all the time. If it's not the decision maker, I give them like a run through of like why I'm there, just so they can know. But I never like tell them the whole thing because, at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to tell me yes or no. So either I just come back next time or, wait for them to call me back if they do, which most of the time they don't.
Okay. This is the part I wanted to get to, because there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people out there and they're looking to get in this business and they think automatically that there has to be some type of business transaction done between themselves and the business itself, the
Mm-hmm.
location itself, excuse me. You
Yeah.
said you don't bring up splits off the
Mm-hmm.
bat?
Yeah, no, I don't. And I wouldn't recommend anyone. I actually know some people that use that as like a way to get in because
Uh-huh.
you straight out just offer them money. But no, for myself, I never do
Ever.
unless they ask for it. Yeah, unless they ask for it.
Okay, say that they asked for it. What's a fair percentage?
It depends per location. For example, the location I have right now that I pay the most it's 30%, and it's at a hotel.
Okay,
It's 30% from profits though, not from the gross sales.
understood. Is there contracts, now you got my attention. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the business owner. You walked in, you give me your spiel. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this can attract more business.
Mm-hmm.
I own a hotel or whatever. People are going to want snacks in the middle of the night. Jaime, go ahead, bring your machine in here.
Mm-hmm.
If in fact I do want to split with you, are you starting with a base of 10% and working your way up? Where do you come up with? Is there a standard? Is there an average number? 30% seems a little high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is pretty high,
It, it,
and I know some people that pay a lot more. I know some people that pay half, 50%. For me, I will never pay more than 30%, just because I feel like it's not going to be worth it.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, but 30% is what I pay. I normally, if it's like a regular business, like a warehouse, an office, I normally start off around like 15%.
Okay, you
I feel
start
like
at
that's
15.
yeah, like 10 to 15. It's normally 15. And I normally tell them that if I say it's 10%, I normally tell them that it's because that's going to allow me to still keep the prices lower. Because the higher the percentage, the higher I'm going to put the prices.
Mhm.
So that's a way to, tell them like, hey, the least commission I can give you, the lower the prices I can have. So I do start around 15%. If they're like, it's kind of too low, because it sounds low, 15% out of all the sales, I would go up to like, okay, 20, at the most 25, 30. And that's only for like hotels, which do good, because everyone wants a hotel in
Yep.
vending. They're pretty hard to get.
Okay. Once you have solidified this deal, is it a handshake deal? Do you put anything on paper? And if you do
Mhm.
have a contract, is it something you've written up or did you find it online? So if my audience is looking for a standardized contract, could they just go online and get the verbiage and download it?
Yeah, you can find it now. You can just type in like vending machine agreements. There's even some for like where it gives you an option for the commission to write down the percentage. But for me, most of the time, actually every time, it's just by handshake. I've never done a contract, which I know some people that only do contracts because, they don't want to lose the location. They want to like have it locked in. But in my opinion, I feel like as long as you just give good service, you're there filling up the machines, people lose their money, give them their $2 or whatever. As long as you just give a good service, you're not going to get kicked out. And I just feel like that's the way it's going to work. So yeah, I've never done a contract.
Got you. You started off with one machine. How many machines do you have now?
I'm up to about 30 now.
In 2 years.
In 2 years, yeah.
In 2 years, starting out at 18 years old, you're up to 30 machines?
Yeah, I'm really thankful. I would have never thought that I would have this much, especially in 2 years. But what did help me out, honestly, was, making YouTube videos about it. All the people that watch my videos, which I'm really grateful for them. Because sometimes vending machines can get pretty expensive. I'm not going to lie, especially whenever you have 30 in 2 years, which you constantly have to keep buying. So, yeah.
Okay. When you buy these machines, are you buying all of them with a location, or are you now buying them and storing them? And if so, where do you store your machines?
So whenever I first started, I started off buying them on location. Because whenever I first started, it was pretty easy to go online and find locations for sale with machines already placed. But ever since like the vending machine industry just blew up, it's kind of hard now to find locations. Like I go on Craigslist or whatever, and if one pops up, it's gone within like a couple of days because there's so many people that want to start out, so they're out buying machines already placed. So that's how I started. That's how I got like the first like 6-7 machines already on location. And then the rest of them, I had to actually go out, find the locations, and I would buy the machines first before I got the location, just so I wouldn't keep the business waiting, which is a good tip. A lot of people have questions like, do I buy the machine first or do I get the location first? And I would highly recommend getting the machine first because I've had, times I've heard stories where people wait until they get a location. So now they have to go and find the machine. It takes them a long time. They can't get it ready. And then the location doesn't want the machine no more.
Okay, where are you storing these machines? If you're buying the machine first, these are not, it's not like a laptop you're buying.
Yeah.
You can just sit inside of a room. Like if you're buying a machine and you're sitting on it, where are you storing it?
So at first, whenever I lived in my parents' house, that's where I started. We didn't have a garage. So I actually ended up putting all the machines in my girlfriend's garage. And, thankfully her mom was okay with it. I put my machines in there for maybe like around 4, 5, 6 months. And after that, I was like, okay, you know what? I need more space to actually work on these machines, make videos here whenever I have to. So I got a storage unit and I just put them in there.
Okay. You're up to 30 machines now. Are the machines buying themselves, meaning are you taking profit and reinvesting in your business? Have you taken out a small business loan? Where are you getting the money to buy all of these machines?
Most of the money that I used was actually from YouTube. YouTube was actually pretty good for me last year, and that's how I was able to constantly keep buying machines. So yeah, that's how I was able to pay for all of them. I was going to get a loan whenever I first started because I didn't really have the income, because I would get locations coming in, but I just didn't have the money to buy more machines. But then, I started making videos and
you started seeing a different revenue stream which helped you with your vending machine business. Understood. Okay. Machines are, you can look at videos and see what they're doing in Asia. These machines are light years ahead of when I was growing up, and it was those little bubblegum machines that you put a quarter in and you turn the knob. You know, for you, are you always trying to get the latest machines? Are you comfortable buying these used machines? And if you buy used machines, can you update them? Is it, a way that I don't know, you buy components and just continuously update and make them more modern, even though they're older machines?
So I actually don't buy brand new machines.
Ever?
No, never. Actually, I bought one, but just it was an ice cream machine, just because you can't really find those used. So I needed one for a location. So I've just bought one just because I had to. But I wouldn't recommend anyone that wants to start to buy a brand new machine, just because they're way too expensive in my opinion.
How much? How much is the average to a brand new machine?
I mean, top of the line, $5,000 for just one, and that would just be for like the snack machine. You would still need the drink machine, of course.
How much on average for a used machine?
Used machine, like 500 to $1,000, and I don't buy older machines. I only buy machines. Oh, like you were talking about, there is some machines you can upgrade, but basically, I only buy machines that you can put a credit card reader on. If that makes sense. Because there's a lot of ones that you can't. So, and there is some that you can upgrade, like you said.
Okay, you said you don't buy older machines. Do you just mean in terms of the credit card, or are you talking about in terms of a certain year? So are you saying I would never buy a machine that is older than 2005?
Mm-hmm. No, just in terms of a credit card. If I can put a credit card reader on it and it looks still good enough, I'll still buy it. Like I have most of my nicer machines that I still have right now, which are like nice, they're from like 2005. So it's still, 15 years ago, and they're still some of the most used machines to this day.
Understood. Talk to me about the products. What sells the best? What sells the worst? Mm-hmm. What is it that you're stocking your machines with?
So right off the bat, drinks are always going to do good, especially down here in Texas where this heat is like, it's no joke. Drinks always go by pretty quick. And, it's always the usual Coke. Dr. Pepper does really, really good. I do have 3 nursing homes, and surprisingly, they don't like diet drinks in there. I remember when I first got them, I loaded up the whole machine with just diet drinks. And next time I went in, they just wanted regular drinks. As for like snacks, it's, chips, candy, chocolate, the normal Hershey's, M&Ms, stuff like that. What has never ever sold for me is healthy items, like, protein bars, healthy chips, anything healthy you can think of just will not sell.
I was waiting for you to finish because I would think that, the whole world is so health conscious. Mm-hmm. And when you said, sodas, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, I'm like, well, I'm wondering if, water sells really good and healthy items sell really good. Are you saying people, when they go to vending machines, they're just looking for snacks? I want to satisfy my sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's honestly the reason why. Like, I know I've seen a few companies recently, or not recently, but in the last few years, where they start. It's like a vending business, but it's like a healthy only vending business. So they only put healthy items in the machine. But I've seen those machines next to machines that have the normal stuff, like the regular unhealthy stuff, and they just get outbeaten because, anyone that goes up to a vending machine, most of the time they're gonna go for like the chocolate bar than the protein bar. And I do keep maybe like 2 at the most 3 healthy items in every machine, just for anyone, just in case wants a healthy item. And it'll be like a protein bar, maybe like some peanut butter crackers.
Trail mix?
Trail mix sometimes, yeah, pistachios, some nuts,
Okay, where are you buying these items? Are you getting them wholesale from any special location, or are we talking about Sam's Club and Costco?
hmm I mostly go to Sam's to get all the snacks and drinks. I know some people, they go to Costco. There's not really that many Costco's down here, mostly Sam's.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I get most of the stuff from. I've been looking into getting into maybe like a distributor here soon, just because I'm constantly going to Sam's because I'm getting to the point where I'm like, filling up machines a lot of times of the day. So I can't keep going back and forth buying more stuff. So that's what I've been looking into.
Okay, let's talk about refill. You got 30 machines.
hmm
How busy does this keep you? And how do you even know when to refill these machines? Is the technology there now where you have an app, or is there a way that okay, one machine on the other side of Texas really needs to be refilled versus the machine down the block from me? Like, how do you know which machines to refill?
So that's actually the reason why I said that I only buy machines that I can put a credit card reader on, because I do on every single machine. And the credit card reader that I have, it actually lets you see like what's selling in the machine. So like in each individual aisle or coil, I mean, so I can see exactly how many peanut M&Ms sold. I know exactly how many, Skittles sold. So whenever I had to go and fill out the machine, I know exactly of what item to take. And it also shows you like the percentage of how empty it is. So I normally go fill up a machine when it gets to around like 45 to 50%. So like half empty. And that's how I can know when to go to each location. And it doesn't take as much time as you think, because 30 machines, you can fill up, you can go to like 7-8 locations a day. From like early in the morning to like the afternoon. So, and each location has like 2 machines. So, 30 machines, that's about 15 locations that I have. I can run the whole route in like 2 days and still have the rest of the week.
Okay, that's where I was going next. How much of your time is you spending on this business? Is this a 7-day-a-week type business? Is this something that somebody who has a full-time job can have on the side? Walk me through an average week.
So an average week, it really also depends if I'm going to I do it by like what days I have to like make a video. So if I have to like go and make a video of me filling up the machine, that's how I set the days up. But if I have to go, I always buy the product and get all the stuff ready the day before. So if I have to go fill up like, 5 locations tomorrow, today, I write down like what I need. I go to Sam's, put everything in the crates, get everything ready, load it into the van. And then tomorrow morning, wake up at 5 a.m., leave here at like 6, and then just, run through every location.
So typically when you're going to Sam's, you don't make refills on that day. That day is strictly for shopping?
Yeah, strictly for shopping. That way the next day, it's just more time efficient and I just go from stop to stop. There is some times where like I would go to Sam's and they don't have the stuff that I need. So the next day that I'm filling up the machines, I would just have to like quickly stop by another Sam's to get some stuff. But yeah, it's normally just filling up the machines to get it done as quick as possible.
How many hours out of your day? And I'm just trying to get a sense because, you're doing this full time. There may be somebody who just wants to do this and earn extra income on the side. So Sam's, what is that, about 3 hours out of your day?
Sam's, like getting the product ready?
Say that again?
Do you mean like how long do I spend like going to Sam's and getting
going to
ready?
Sam's, putting enough product in your car to get ready to refill your machines?
If it's gonna be like a busy day the next day, writing all the stuff down, maybe like an hour, going to Sam's, another hour, coming back home, putting everything into the crates. Yeah, like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Just to get everything ready.
So the next 2 days, you have about 15 locations. The next 2 days, you said you can do 7-8 locations in a day. when you say in a day, are we talking an 8-hour day? Are we talking a 6-hour day? Are we talking a 10-hour day?
I would say like a 10 to 12-hour day. And that's actually, it's different for everyone. I'm pretty sure somebody can do 10 or even more locations a day just because I'm here in Dallas. So like all of my locations are spread out through like all the cities around. So almost each location that I go to is an hour away from each one. And it only takes like 30 minutes to fill up a location, 30 to 45. Like once you get the hang of it, just go in, fill everything up, take inventory, go out onto the next one. So if I didn't have to drive so much, I could easily, fill up more machines.
Okay, because we're here in New York. This is a very congested city. So it probably wouldn't be as spread out as your commute is. You're saying I spend most of the time in the car because Texas overall is just so spread out.
Yeah, most of the time it's just me driving.
Okay, talk to me about locations. You mentioned nursing homes. What are the best locations? You said everybody's fighting for hotels. For you, what are your best? And just give me an idea of all of the different types of locations you're in and which are the best and why.
Okay. So my best one right now is the hotel, and I only have one of those. I got that one this year, and I got lucky with that one because that hotel is it's like in the middle of nowhere, outside the city, and there's like no vendor that wanted to make the drive all the way over there because it was too far.
How far outside the city is it?
For me, it's not too far. It's like 45 minutes.
Okay.
But that's the only location I have that way. So, but it's still my best one, even though it's that far away. So after that, it would be like nursing homes. Those do really, really good.
How many nursing homes do you have?
I got 3, and it's all under the same company. So I got all 3 at the same time.
Okay. Did you get the nursing homes from buying the route from someone, or those locations you went in and you negotiated the deal yourself?
So the manager actually reached out to me because I think he was the one running the machines. He had his machines inside, and I guess he just didn't have time for it no more, or like, I don't know. He just didn't want to do it no more. So he reached out to me. He was like, hey, we got 3 nursing homes. Bring some machines in, and that was it.
Okay, so you have a hotel. It's your best location. You got 3 nursing homes. What do the other locations look like?
The rest of them are just warehouses and offices. So just the normal people, go into an office. I have one barbershop. That one, I don't know, remember that I told you the first location I got kicked out. Yep. The barbershop was the one where I put that machine in, and I still have it to this day. So I've been having that for about 2 years. Okay,
good. Talk to me about your best location. How much money are you making there? And what are you selling there?
So that one, a month, it comes out to, in total sales, around like 2,500.
Okay.
And I got 3 machines. I got a snack, a soda, and the ice cream machine that I told you.
Is it 2,500 per machine, or is it 2,500 total?
It's all together, total.
Okay.
Yeah, so total. And then after like I buy a product, I'm left with about, I would say, almost half. So, half of 25.
So about $1,250.
About $1,250, maybe a little bit more because, product isn't that much. And then I would subtract the 30%, which I give the owner. So I'm left, with about $1,000, which is still, for profit, it's still a lot, because there's some locations that make, your average location is going to make $400 to $500 a month, like total. That's what the average is going to make. So, $1,000 and just having it for profit is still good. And I sell the normal stuff, like the chips and drinks. And since it is a hotel, I do add like toothpaste, shaving kits. I throw like lighters in there, deodorants, stuff for people that come in.
Okay, so at your best location, you're making about $2,500 a month. You're coming home with $1,000 profit every single month. If I'm getting into this business, just manage my expectations. You said the average machine is doing a total, and I'm assuming this is gross, of about $500 in sales per month.
Yeah.
What's the profit margin on those machines looking like?
The profit margins? What do you mean?
In terms of, you know, if I'm selling $500 worth of goods out of there,
Mm-hmm.
you, in order to fill those machines up, are you filling them up with $200 worth of goods and walking away with $300 in your pocket?
I normally just take the percentage. I never really add up all the product because I'm buying everything in bulk. But it's normally around like 40, maybe at the most 50% will be for product. It's mostly close to like 40%. So, you know, if you make I guess, you know, $400, almost $200 would be, or a little over $200 would be the profit.
Okay, nice. Is this a business that you can operate under the table, or, you know, are you because it's essentially in a lot of locations it's a cash business. I know many of them are credit card.
Yeah.
But just in terms of the taxes and all of the different back end work that goes with it, how does that work for you? Do you have to report every sale?
So I will say that, yes, there is some people that do it under the table just for like extra cash a month. They just have like a few machines on location, and that's the reason why they don't put credit card readers that way. Because on the credit card readers, not only does it show the credit card sales, but also the cash. So it shows those two. But for me, yeah. So I basically add up all the numbers together, how much each location makes, and at the end of the year, you know, I just add everything up. I subtract all the product I spent, the money I spent on machines. But yeah, for 2019, I did file all the taxes for it.
Okay, so you run this as a real business.
Yeah, I have a LLC set up for it.
Okay, walk me through, if you don't mind. Year number one, you're only in business for 2 years. You start with one machine. After year number one, how much would you say you made in this business?
Well, it's kind of hard to calculate profit for me, especially even until now, just because I'm constantly buying machines all the time. So you don't get to a point to where like you stop and then all the machines, you know, you're making money and then they pay for themselves. You're just constantly buying more machines. But the first year wasn't really much. I didn't have that many locations. I think the first year I was only around like 7, 8 machines for the year. So maybe like a few $1,000s for the year, but it was mostly to get into the business, learn how it works, make videos about it. But this year, you know, I've taken it a lot more serious, and we've pretty much like tripled since last year. So
okay, so are you in the 6-figure mark now?
Well, for YouTube and vending combined, yes.
Okay, beautiful. And I'm gonna get to YouTube later. You know, you keep mentioning it. I know it's a big part of your story. It's the way I discovered you. So I'm gonna definitely bring that into the conversation for anybody who's watching this. It's not like I'm overlooking what he's saying about YouTube. He is amazing on YouTube, and I love the way you've documented your business. So we'll bring that in a little later on in the interview. Talk to me about theft, vandalism. If I'm getting into this business, how worried do I need to be about people breaking into my machines, people sticking dollars in and then pulling it back out, and the product still drops? How much are you experiencing that?
You shouldn't worry about it too much, especially with the machines now. Most of the machines now, you can't really like use like the little old school hacks that you could back in the day. But for me, I've honestly never really had issues with people trying to break in. I've had one that I can think of. That was like back when I first started, and it was that actually somebody had put tape on a dollar. They put it into the little bill acceptor, and they pulled it up right out. Or they tried pulling it out, but it got stuck inside, and it actually broke it. So I had to go and replace it. And then they kept calling me like, hey, like, when are you gonna come get it fixed? And I was like, well, I mean, one of your employees, I didn't tell him that, but I mean, one of their employees, it was at an employee only place. So one of the employees, was the one that broke it. But yeah, besides that, I've never had nobody try to like shake a machine. Nothing too crazy. I do have a lot of friends in the industry though. And I mean, I've had friends that people steal the whole machine. I've had people break the glass. I've had people or friends where they have like machines inside of the business and the whole business catches on fire. And the machines catch on fire. Yeah, so
okay, so talk to me about maintenance. Is there a lot of maintenance? In turn, I know you have had to fix some of your machines. Is this something you can learn to do for yourself, or are there professionals out there that are specifically trained in fixing vending machines?
There is professionals. I know, especially here in Dallas, there's quite a few of them. But the thing is, I would really recommend, if you're going to get into it, to just learn how to fix it yourself. Like for me, I've only had to call a professional once, and that was for the ice cream machine because that was the first one I had. And there was like an issue with it I didn't know how to fix. But everything else, you can learn yourself. You can Google the manual online, and it shows you like all the parts, all the moving parts and stuff. And that way, once you know how to fix it, next time it happens, you know how to fix it yourself.
How difficult was it for you to learn how to fix it? Everybody's not, I'm not handy. So if I decided to jump into this business, I'd be very, very afraid because I could barely fix anything. Is this something that is, are these machines just relatively easy to fix where you just buy a part and then take out the old one and insert the new one, or is it more intricate than that?
For the most part, yes. Like the most common issues that you're going to mostly have is if the machine doesn't take bills or it doesn't take coins. So you have to like replace that specific part inside. And it's just simple as that. You unhook it. It's just one cable. You unhook it, take it out, put the other one in, hook it back up. And it's just that simple. There's other like tiny moving parts that I've had to switch in the past. And, there's been times where I've had to try to figure out how to fix something. And I've been there for like 4 or 5 hours for like one tiny piece. But then, like I said, like you're gonna most likely have those times where like you spend hours and hours trying to fix something, but it's gonna be worth it because if you're gonna be in this business for the long run, you're gonna want to know how to fix it.
Is the market saturated? You alluded to this earlier where you said once upon a time you can kind of go online and people would be selling, their routes with the locations. Is the market too saturated now? Or is there room for new people to come into this business?
I would say it's not really saturated. There is a lot of people getting into it, so it might be harder to do it now than back then, but it's definitely still possible. You can still go out, find machines used right now. You can still find locations because all the time there's new businesses closing down and opening. I just got my newest location. I just got last month, and it was a new warehouse that opened up. And the first month, it did $1,000, in total, and so there's always new spots opening up. So there's still enough, room for everyone.
So if I wanted to jump into this game right now, you're saying, look, Sean, you can actually do it. It's not what it was a few years ago, but there's still locations out there. You just got to get on your grind and go find them. Yeah,
that's the thing. Because there's still, at the same time, there's still other vendors getting out. So, you might find a few locations still for sale every now and then.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that you bought a new ice cream machine. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any machines that sell hot food?
Hot food? No, just a frozen one, and I have that set up to where I sell ice cream in the bottom half, and the top half it's food. So it's like Hot Pockets, burritos, corn dogs.
Okay, so for a machine like that, are there special permits needed? Do you have to abide by any FDA rules? Because those types of items, they could stale, they could go bad. Is is it more risky to buy those types of machines? Is it much more needed on the back end, or you get the machine and you can set it up no different than a machine that just sells candy bars and potato chips?
For the most part, yeah. I'm not sure about other states or cities, but I know here you don't really need any other permits. Just because, well, number one, this machine that I got, it's a brand new machine, and it has like pretty much any refrigerated machine where you're gonna put food in it. Most of the time, they do have sensors in them to where if for some reason the temperature just drops and everything melts or something happens, it would just cut off. So it won't let anybody buy something, which comes in handy. It's actually happened to me twice where for some reason the machine, it gets hot, everything goes bad, and it's good that the machine, cut off, because if somebody would have bought, something, a burrito or something, they could have got sick. I think you mostly need permits here if it's going to be like refrigerated food, like perishable foods, not really frozen foods. So yeah, that's the case.
Okay. Are there places, there are expos for everything out here. You can be in to the bridal business. There's a bridal expo. You can be into comic books. There's a comic expo. If I'm trying to learn more about this business or get into this business, I know you keep mentioning going on Craigslist and going on to these different sites. But does there exist an expo that specializes in vending machines? And if so, where are they and when do they take place?
There is a few expos. The main one is actually for gumball machines, though. It's not really for like soda and snack. That's one of the most popular ones, and that's I've gone to that one the last two years just for fun. Because there's some vendors there that do gumball machines and also full line, so it's kind of like you get to learn a little bit about both sides, and that takes place in around March of every year. I know the first year it was in Vegas, and last year it was, or this year actually, it was in New Orleans.
What's the name?
I know it's called NBVA, so the National Bulk Vending Association.
Gotcha.
There is bigger ones specifically mainly for full line. I know there was one in Florida last year. I'm not sure what it was called. But the biggest ones are over there, like in China or like in Japan, which there was going to be a big one this year in like February, I think. And, obviously everything shut down. So no, I think around March. So it got canceled. But yeah, it's like the world's biggest one. And since it is like Japan, they have like the newest machines that you can find out there, or like machines for every situation, like cold food, pizza, anything.
You mentioned earlier schools as a location. How bad has COVID affected your business? Obviously, kids in certain states are not even going back to schools. There are a lot of locations out there now. We've been quarantined for many months. So many of the locations that in your line of work would have gotten you a lot of money or would have made you a lot of money, no one's traveling. No one's out. People are social distancing. Has COVID hurt the vending machine business?
I would say yes. For the most part, yes. For me, though, I honestly got lucky just because every single machine that I had a location in, none of them shut down. So they all stayed open. Actually, one closed down. That was a barbershop. So that's the only one that shut down. So it wasn't a crazy hit on me. But every other one, people still went to work. Like, yeah, they did have social distancing. Everyone had to wear masks. The nursing home, I was barely able to get in. Surprisingly, they let me in, because it was a nursing home. But for the most part, for me, I didn't really take a huge hit. I actually got a lot more locations during the whole COVID situation.
That's interesting. Why do you think?
I'm not sure, honestly. I was actually surprised. They actually all reached out to me, so I'm not really sure what their situation was. Some of them, they had a previous vendor, and I guess he wasn't going to like fill up the machines, or he was slacking on it, so they kicked him out, and then they brought me in. And it was like that for like a few different spots. So
it was the actual locations themselves that reached out to you, not necessarily the vending machine owners that said, "Look, I want to get out of this business."
No. I think this whole year, actually, I haven't got. If I think about it correctly, this whole year I haven't got a location myself. They've all just reached out to me.
All location owners
For this year, yeah.
Okay. And congratulations. COVID has affected so many different industries. I'm happy to hear that you weren't hit personally that hard. 30 locations. I'm sorry?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that it really does suck. I had, for example, Cali. I got a friend over there that has around like 150 machines, and they're all shut down. Just
exactly.
Completely.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you are still able to make income, that's a blessing, man. So congratulations there. 30 locations. I mean, 30 machines, 15 locations. Are you doing this all yourself? Do you hire employees? Is it still a one-man operation?
It's still one. Well, actually, my girlfriend lives with me. She's always with me. Every single time we go fill up a machine, go get a product, she always helps me out. And it's actually, she really does help me out a lot, because there's some times where I can't, especially with, going back to YouTube, there's sometimes I got to edit a video, but at the same time I have to go fill up machines. So she'll be the one that goes out. So it's really helpful, having a partner. But even if I didn't, it would still be a one-man job. Like I said, I can run the whole route in 2 days, and that's still with 30 machines. So I could still get another 30, 60 machines and maybe like work every single day of the week, but it would still be doable.
Gotcha. Let's talk YouTube for a second. This is where I learned about you. Why start a YouTube channel promoting and educating people on your journey in the vending machine business?
So at first, it started off just for fun. Like when I started, I told you there was somebody that made videos about it. Before I made my first video, there was like a couple people making videos about it. It was nothing too crazy. And there was like Facebook groups, about it. But there was not really much out there. So, and actually before I made that video, I used to just like making videos for fun. I had like a different channel. So I was like making videos. And yeah, I mean, just one day I was going out filling up my machines, and I was like, you know what? I had a camera already ready. So I took my camera that day with me. I filmed the whole thing, going to Sam's, buying the stuff, filling up the machines, and I edited the video. I had editing experience already from the other channels I've had. So I put the video together. I posted it. It did really good, actually, like the first week. And then literally just after like the first week, it just started blowing up. Like in the first 30 days, it was at 1 million views.
Excuse me?
1 million views, and that was the first video. Yeah.
The very first video you put up?
Yeah, first video. Okay,
did you boost it in any way? Did you do anything special, or did you just upload it?
I just uploaded it. I feel like honestly, I would say the biggest reason, number one, like you said, I was young. And for someone that young to be out running a business, running around, filling out machines, I guess it was kind of motivating for a lot of people. And I guess it just hit the algorithm that time, because there was no really a lot of videos about it, like I said. So that was like the first actual
How long ago video. Was this? Was this with your first machine?
No, that was last year in 2019.
So your YouTube channel is about 1 year old.
Yeah, like 1.5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted that video, I think February, and then it blew up like in March. And then it's crazy because 2 months after that, in April, the first video was in February, and my birthday is April 6th. On April 5th, the day before my birthday, I hit 100,000 subscribers.
Hold on. You started your channel in February. By
Yeah.
April, you were already 100,000 subscribers?
Yeah. So in a
Are
few
we talking
months.
2019 or 2018?
2019. So
Congratulations.
last year. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Has YouTube helped your business?
Yeah, for sure. I probably wouldn't have been this far if it wasn't for YouTube. Because that's I do YouTube for like my full-time job, so that's where most of my income comes from. And like I said earlier, some machines that I buy are pretty expensive. So if I would have had like a regular job, I probably wouldn't been able to afford all the machines.
So ultimately, where do you see your career going? Are you going to focus more because you're saying you're making more money on YouTube now? Are you going
Mhm.
to focus more on the growth in YouTube, or is YouTube just to supplement you building this vending machine empire?
It's gonna be both. So the goal is actually still do YouTube. I'm gonna try to grow that, as far as I can. And I know I can't make vending machine videos forever, so I know eventually I'm gonna be doing something else. But that's the reason why I'm still gonna be growing the vending machine business. So the goal is to, the goal is, I've always liked to dream big. The goal is to, take over all of Dallas. Have a bunch of machines, hundreds, have employees, have route drivers. That's the goal for vending.
So for vending machines, you can see doing this long term. It's not like you're going to sell all of your routes in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be doing this for probably forever.
What is it that you wish you knew? Talk to me. I am just scratching the surface of wanting to get into this industry. What
Mhm.
is it that you wish you knew before you got into the business?
So the only thing was learning about machines, like because there is a lot of machines that you shouldn't buy. More specifically, like Chinese-made machines. So just machines that are made like overseas. Because there is like known American brands here in the U.S. that it's basically like the go-tos. So and that's the big issue with a lot of people when I see them starting out. They go out, they buy a machine that's not good, and then a couple weeks after they put it on location, it starts messing up, and you can't really buy parts for it. So then they might lose the location. That's the only thing. Just figuring out what machines, what brands are good.
Okay, I didn't even think to ask you this, so this is a great point.
Hmm.
Most people are going and they're looking online, they're looking on Alibaba.
Yeah.
You're saying stay away from vending machines that are not made locally?
Yeah, like not made here in the US. So just because, I mean, it makes sense if you buy a machine from online coming from China, they are a lot cheaper.
Uh-huh.
Well, not a lot cheaper, but cheaper buying them like because they're new. So they're new and they're cheap. But coming from China, they come in, and once you need parts, you can't really order parts, get them here in a couple of days. You have to wait. Who knows how long it's gonna take coming from over there. Number one, and then number two, the customer service. So if you have an issue with the machine, how easy it is going to be calling the company all the way over there and trying to get a hold of somebody and help you out with the problem. So I've only bought machines made here in the US. I can give you a few brands: Crane, AMS, Wittern, USI. Those are like the big brands out
Say
here.
those again slowly, please.
AMS, Crane, USI, Royal. Those are the main ones.
Okay, so those are pretty much the brands that you use yourself and you feel good. You've mentioned several times in this interview that you have very little problems with them breaking down or having to replace parts. So they're well built.
Yeah, they're very well built, good quality, and like I said, if you have an issue with them, the number is always on the machine. Give them a call, and they help you out.
Jaime, First, I got to thank you so much for being so forthcoming. You have provided a wealth of information, and if anybody is watching this and has made it to the end of this video, you've cut out a lot of legwork for them. You know, they now have a roadmap, and that's what this Power Move Makers show is all about. So I thank you so much for your time, first and foremost. Please tell everybody, where can they find you if they want to reach you?
The best way to reach me would be Instagram. That's just at Jaime Ibanez. The same as my YouTube, or pretty much anywhere on Twitter, anywhere, just Jaime Ibanez. And I'm mostly active on Instagram though, so that's where anyone wants to reach me, shoot me a DM.
Jaime, I know the last name Ibanez is normal for you, but for the average person, it is not. Please spell that out so that people can reach you and get to the right person.
Yeah, so Ibanez, that's Ibanez, just like the guitar brand. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's it's Ibanez though. Ibanez.
Got you. So Jaime Ibanez, and that's pretty much across all platforms.
Yeah.
Jaime, thank you so much. I am inspired by you. I love the fact that you're 20 years old. You are. This is what the American dream is all about, and you are a shining representation of why this show, Power Move Makers, was created. I believe you are a true Power Move Maker. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being so forthcoming with information. I know, people don't like to always disclose numbers or put things out there because of fear of competition. And the fact that you were so forthcoming, I really appreciate you. And there's going to be a ton of people who watch this who are going to thank you for it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It really means a lot. I love what you're doing, helping everyone, showing them the new ways. But yeah, also good luck to all the viewers out there watching. If you're going to get into it, good luck. But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me.
Continue blessings and success. Peace and love.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. Truly appreciate you. If you like anything you heard here today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you know anybody that can benefit from this message, feel free to share. Peace and love.